Agriculture safety is an important part of your daily job because it's your responsibility to work and act safely. Your company has established safety rules to help you prevent accidents and injuries, but you're the most important part of the program. What you do is important because you're the only person who can make safety work. Of course, this short training program is only part of your training. Your supervisor will provide additional training and will be able to answer any questions you may have about the job or about safety. The first thing to remember is to ask questions if you're not sure about something. It's better to fully understand your job and the safety of the job than to take chances, so ask questions if you're not sure. If you see a safety hazard that may affect you or other employees, be sure to report it to your supervisor so it can be corrected. If you experience an accident, injury, or illness, report it immediately to your supervisor. Horseplay, practical jokes, and throwing objects can cause injury and are prohibited. If you haven't been trained to operate machines and equipment, don't operate it until you've been trained and authorized by the company. If you are trained and authorized to operate equipment, such as tractors, be sure to operate all equipment at a safe speed limit for the road conditions. This particular training program is designed to provide basic safety information relating to irrigation and irrigation pipes. This program is quite important because there have been injuries because workers did not know or they did not follow the safety rules when working around irrigation equipment. Typically, orchards and farmland are irrigated by flooding, ditch, or set sprinklers. In some cases, an irrigator may work with movable lines. Regardless of the way the water is applied, irrigators should follow these precautions. Personal protection includes wearing rubber boots so that your feet will stay dry. When walking through irrigated areas, you should avoid areas where your feet sink deep into mud. When this happens, you can sprain your back or leg muscles when attempting to free yourself from the mud. Of course, never jump over irrigation ditches. Use the planking or bridges provided. Broken bones take a long time to heal. Wear proper hearing protection if you're working around irrigation booster pumps or other loud noise areas and machinery. We're always concerned about back injuries, so be sure you know how to lift safely and to use the safe lifting method anytime you lift anything. Bend your legs and squat down close to the load you're going to lift. Get a good grip on the object you're lifting. Bring it close to your body, then stand up. By bending your legs, you're keeping your back in its natural curve, reducing the possibility of a back injury. When you're going to set something down, keep the load close to your body. Bend your legs and then gently lower the load to the ground or other surface. Even though you may not lift irrigation pipes or other items, it's important to bend your knees rather than stooping over or bending your back. Bending at the waist puts pressure on the back and over time will cause you back problems. Before you begin to work every day, it's a good idea to warm up your back with some stretching exercises. Your back is just like an automobile engine. It needs to warm up just a bit before you begin work. Don't forget that shoveling is a bending and lifting activity, and it can be hard on your back as well if you don't use proper techniques. When shoveling, don't overload the shovel. Take smaller bites into the soil, especially when the soil is wet or muddy. The water in the soil can greatly increase the weight of the load. Make sure you use the same lifting techniques as you would with any other load. Bend at the knees and lift with your leg muscles, not your back. It's also important for you to not heave the shovel into the soil. Push the shovel into the soil with your foot. Make sure your foot is in a firm position so it won't slip off the shovel and your other foot is in a solid position so you won't fall down. Then as you lift, put one hand at the top of the shovel and the other hand about 2/3 of the way down the handle for the best weight distribution. Pace yourself so you can go at a steady pace during the day, and make sure to drink plenty of water to avoid dehydration due to heavy sun exposure and heat stress. When digging around electrical equipment such as pumps, be careful not to dig so deep as to cut into the underground electrical lines. Your shovel is an important tool in the irrigation business, and it's very important to select the proper tool for the job. For most irrigation jobs, you should use only a round-tip shovel. Proper care of your shovel is necessary, and keep it stored in a dry place so the handle doesn't get warped or develop splinters. If your shovel does develop splinters, you should use sandpaper to make the handle smooth again. Never put tape on your shovel's handle because the tape will hide cracks in the handle, which can break in the middle of lifting a load. Treat all tools and equipment with proper care. When working around pipes and couplings, avoid sticking fingers or hands into any pipe or coupling. When lifting open sections of pipe, make sure that the water is drained out before you attempt to lift it. This reduces the weight of the pipe and makes your job much easier and safer. When moving pipe sections, use extreme caution. Never lift pipe sections near electrical power lines. Irrigation pipe is a very good conductor of electricity, and if the pipe comes in contact with an energized electrical power line or exposed electrical wiring, you can be seriously injured or killed by the electricity. Always be sure you do not lift any pipe section within 10 feet of electrical lines or electrical wiring. Never stack or store irrigation pipe or sprinklers under electrical lines. We have the safety words, "Look up and see," before you lift any irrigation section or piping. Look up to make sure there are no electrical power lines within 10 feet. Wires can be sagging down, and unless you look up and see, you could experience a very serious injury. If you notice broken or downed electrical lines, stay away and notify your supervisor. In some cases, the ground could be energized, so stay away from downed power lines. Also, if you get close enough to an energized power line, the electricity can arc over to the pipe section you're carrying. You don't even have to touch it to create electrical flow through the pipe. Look up and see is the best advice when handling irrigation piping. When moving loads of pipe, be certain the load is properly secured to avoid injuries caused by the load shifting. Pipe is heavy, and if the load shifts and you're nearby, you could be injured. Always know where you're moving the pipe before you lift it. If you know where you're going, you'll be able to lift the pipe and move it without creating an injury or damaging the pipe. When lifting the pipe, use the safe lifting technique. Keep your back straight in its natural curve. Keep your elbows tucked in, and lift the pipe by straightening your legs. Get help in lifting heavy or awkward loads, and always use 2 or more people to lift in windy conditions. Of course, never run while carrying sprinkler or irrigation pipes. Never ride on a pipe trailer or any other vehicle unless there is specifically a seat for a passenger. Always tie a red flag on the back left corner of the load before transporting. Irrigation water is sometimes used to apply fertilizer and other chemicals, so never drink water from pumps or irrigation lines. If your irrigation job requires you to operate irrigation pumps, do not start any electrical switch while standing on wet ground. In the event of a malfunction or electrical short, you could be electrocuted because of the electricity and wet water making your body a conductor of electricity with the ground and the electricity. Stay away from pumps, even if they are not being operated. They may be controlled remotely and can be turned on automatically. Hooking all sprinkler pipe and valves together before turning on the water is the safest method. However, it's common practice to turn on the water while hooking up valves and sprinkler pipe to clear soil and debris from the pipe lines. If you use this method, be sure to keep the water pressure low. Water pressure may build up at the valves or in areas of the pipe blocked with mud or debris. It's important to keep your body and limbs out of the direction of water travel should a valve or pipe connection blow apart under pressure. Keep your face out of the direction of water travel when connecting sprinkler heads. In the event you are injured on the job, proper medical attention will be provided. When medical attention is required, it will be provided by your employer. Everyone must also understand that effective January 1st, 1992, a new California law provides that any employee who files a fraudulent workers' compensation claim will be considered guilty of criminal fraud. Criminal fraud will be punishable by imprisonment in county jail for 1 year or state prison for up to 5 years, or a fine of up to $50,000 or double the value of the fraud, or both imprisonment and a fine. The company is responsible for ensuring the safety and health of all employees. However, filing a fraudulent workers' compensation claim is a crime and will be treated as such. If you have an injury at work, report it immediately to your foreman, not hours or days later. As we stated earlier, you'll receive more training from your supervisor. The most important thing to remember is that you're responsible for safety and to follow your company's rules. Safety is everyone's job, and it's everyone's job to do your part in preventing accidents and injuries. You are important to yourselves, your families, and the company. Safety is a team effort, but each individual has the responsibility to follow safety rules and use your good judgment on every job, every day. Thank you.